Hi, my name is Rita Alfaro. I'm the music librarian for Fort Worth Public Library, and you are joining us for Off the Record, our Q&A session with our Amplify 817 artists. And today we have Yokyo. Hi guys. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. I really appreciate it. We just have a couple of questions, maybe about Fort Worth music, how you guys started. So first question is always, if you guys want to introduce yourself to everybody, tell us a little bit about yourself, how you formed, how you got into music, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, my name is Hannah.
I'm Sam.
And we're Yokyo, and we have been performing together for about a year and a half, 2 years? 2 years. Well, yeah, a year and a half is Yokyo, but I got into performing when I was a kid, writing songs on acoustic guitar and just performing like acoustic music, and then just kept exploring other genres and joining bands, and then eventually met Sam, and now we're doing this thing.
And I started playing when I was a kid too. And I eventually went to school for audio engineering and music production. And so I've been playing for most of my life now and producing for about 5 years. And I met Hannah about 2 years ago.
We met at Mass, at Southside in Fort Worth.
Fort Worth Love Story.
At a show for Siberian Traps, I think.
Yes, Siberian Traps, my roommate.
Yes.
Yeah, so I do this now.
That's cool. And we're glad you gave a shout out to Mass, because they're one of our favorite venues too.
Ours too.
We love Mass.
We love
Mark is the best sound guy in Fort Worth. No offense. Okay, all right.
One of the best. Top 10.
What are some of the other Fort Worth venues that you guys like performing at?
We played Dada earlier this year before the shutdown, and that was a really good venue.
It was a lot of fun.
I've got a lot of good memories seeing shows there, so it was cool to get to be on the stage.
We love Lola's.
Yes.
Lola's a great spot. Shout out to Lola's.
We were excited about Tulips. They opened up just like recently, so we're not playing live shows right now, but we're excited to play there because it seems like it's got a cool vibe.
Yeah, and it's the newest venue here in Fort Worth, and it's opening up as like a mid-sized venue, which is a first for Fort Worth. So what we needed. Exactly. So we're really excited to have them. What's been y'all's experience with performing in Fort Worth? Because you guys do pop electronic music. I know a lot of people think when they come to Fort Worth, Cowtown, Cowboys, that kind of music. And there's a lot of amazing country talent, folk talent, Americana. We have it all on Amplify. But how has that experience been for you in Fort Worth?
It's been interesting. It's been a little difficult. I would say the most troubling thing is finding a venue with a sound system that can handle our gear.
Got to have that sub.
Yeah, we can't just show up
It's all about that bass.
2 speakers and go. So we just have a complicated setup, and so that makes it a little bit more difficult. And hopefully some more Fort Worth venues can adapt to that. But we love our country artist friends.
Yeah, we still
love country music.
We still hang with the country folk. They let us hang around. So that's nice.
What are some of your guys' favorite bands or people that you've collaborated with recently or in the beginning?
Our best friends are like Vogue Machine.
Larry G,
Stage Mode Rex, 88 Killa. We've worked with Peter Waringa of Siberian Traps.
Hey, Pete.
Who else? It's been a minute because we've been in lockdown. Summer Job, yes, Summer Job.
Simon Flory. I know he's a country guy, but
we love Simon.
We love Simon. All American kid.
We would go to Fort Worth Live and go see him play. Did you go to that venue, Fort Worth Live? No. It's not there anymore. They all moved to the Post.
Yeah.
But it was such a cute little hidden upstairs bar, and good memories there. Simon's great.
Yeah. Oh, Torn Up. The new Torn Up is really good too, if you guys haven't checked it out yet.
And I know we've got your current album, your first album, on our Amplify 817 streaming site, but you guys have released some singles since then. Do you guys want to talk about that a little bit, or even the album that you have, maybe your inspirations behind that, or?
Well, the first record was sort of like the goal was to find our
We were still
sound.
finding our
We
sound.
wanted to find, something new within the electronic genre. And so it was just months and months of working that out. And now that we kind of have a grip on it, we're really excited about 2021. We've got some hot tracks.
Yeah,
in
well,
the
we've
queue.
accumulated more gear too. That's allowed us to find new sounds and do cooler stuff. And so I think you'll hear a lot of that come out within our new songs. It's going to be a lot more punchier and punchier. It's going to punch
Good
a
audio
lot better.
tone, yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, we're just going to keep growing because that's what artists need to do, right? So hopefully you hear it in the music. Something that we did last year should, still hold its own, but hopefully they get better, that's the goal.
I will say that our new single, Push Pull, is all about the crazy times that we're living in right now.
Yeah, we wrote it at the beginning.
We wrote it at the beginning
of the Rona.
and we're not even going to release it. And then as we keep going, we're like, oh my gosh, this is so relevant. We have to.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think a lot of people, it's really great because a lot of the artists have been taking this time, even though they can't perform, they're taking this time to kind of write. And a lot of artists that we've been talking to, especially our Amplify artists, have been saying, yeah, we've got like a full album, like kind of ready to go. We're just waiting a little bit time. So 2021, we should have some really great music. If that's the one positive thing that comes out of 2020.
You guys don't hold out too long, right? You still got to put out tracks.
Yeah. How has been, I know you guys have done some virtual performances online. How was that transition from doing live stuff to virtual?
It is harder than playing a show.
There's just a lot going on all at once, and trying to pay attention to the whole technology side of it in addition to the music side at the same time
It's a lot.
is a lot.
Audio, visual, and OBS, and like doing the whole.
Yeah, because we plug our
Green
stuff
screen
directly into the computer so that you're not hearing like a recording of a speaker, but you're hearing the actual tracks and vocals. So it's just a little bit more work. But we do have a green screen that we use, and that's fun. We can be anywhere in the world, universe, dimensions.
We want that Mandalorian set up with the 360 LEDs.
Yes.
Yeah, one day.
One day, maybe soon, maybe in 2021. So we were talking a little bit before this interview started. We were talking a little bit about genres and kind of, not that we're trying to put you guys in a box, but what would you classify, I guess, your genre, subgenre, subgenres, and where would you say you got your inspirations from as far as other maybe outside genres?
I would say right now, we don't know exactly where we fit in yet.
Put us in a box.
Right now,
We can do it right now.
We need to figure out something
Now's
else.
the moment we figure it all out. Here we go.
Right now, we're going with futuristic pop because we seem to be a little too futuristic for normal pop. But we were, I know I was personally inspired by artists like FKA Twigs and Policia. We both like Ice Peak. They're a Russian duo that are awesome.
Check out Ice Peak.
We were inspired by Tame Impala, all those trippy, laid back sounds. Oh, it's so good. Yes.
If you haven't listened to Tame Impala, where have you been?
Toi et moi.
Yeah, I think for this
Definitely.
project specifically, I would say Toi et moi, the Avalanches, and I mean
Gorillaz?
the Gorillas, yeah, and the Beatles. I mean, like basic song layouts. That's
We listen to them a lot.
Yeah, that's where I learned. So I'm sure that comes through in the structure somehow.
And were you guys we talked a little bit about families too in some of the other interviews. Have they had any influence on what you're doing, and have they been supportive and kind of like the merch people and that kind of stuff?
We kind of have two different sides of the spectrum, but my side of the family is actually a bunch of musicians. So I grew up having like family jam sessions at the end of Thanksgiving or Easter or Christmas. And as a kid, I was just like, whoa, this is so cool. Everyone's just gathered around with a guitar and they're singing and having a good time. So that made me want to like participate and be a part of it. And through that process, I was like, oh, I freaking love this. I love making music. And my mom is so supportive. Like she's my number one fan. But Sam's
my family is supportive and helpful. They don't understand most of it, but they are swell folks, and they have gotten me through some tough times. So, yeah, I mean, you can't expect everybody to dig what you're doing, right? There's an age gap.
Well, in chasing music, a lot of people are like, okay, that'll dwindle away, and you'll have to get a real job eventually, and
yeah.
So there's just a lot of,
Well, I was talking earlier that my background is in music. I studied music in school, and my family was like, well, you're not going to starve, right? Like, you're not going to do like
just worried. That's
composition, which I was going to do. And I was like, no, I'll do music education.
There have been starving times, you know, like this has been
oh my gosh,
a 10-year long journey all the way through. I'm about to turn 30. So my entire 20s has been just trying to make stuff happen. Right?
One time we went digging through the couch to find change to go take it to the Coinstar at Walmart to get a receipt to have enough money to make pasta. Been there.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all worth it.
We hope you guys are doing well now.
Oh, great now.
Yeah. So we've talked about genres a little bit. We've talked about music and our families. We want to talk a little bit about Amplify 817. So we've been asking everybody about their experience with it. How do you guys like being on the platform? Is there anybody else on there that you really love and support as well?
All the folks. We know.
Yeah, we know pretty much everybody
on
there.
817. Yeah. I think it's great. I think we should be seeing more librarians at shows these days.
I go to a lot of shows personally, but yeah,
Okay,
we're definitely getting out there.
Face,
Yeah.
right?
I'm excited that the city is taking an initiative to lift up the music scene and shine a spotlight on it. And I'm excited to see what happens with that. But I'm kind of not sure how it's going to turn out. But I'm positive about it. I'm hopeful about it. Got good feelings.
Well, we've got really good support from here Fort Worth, and as well as our Fort Worth Public Library Foundation. So they have been 100% backing us in doing this thing so we can continue doing this. So we're just excited to be part of the scene now in the community, because we really think Fort Worth is growing as a music hub. They're a music-friendly city, and there's a lot that people don't see. I know we talked about the country artists and there's some really good rock bands and stuff, but I think artists like you as well, like you guys are out there, and I think people don't realize that that's coming out of 817.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. We were listening to a podcast, a Joe Rogan podcast. Somebody mentioned Leon Bridges, and they were like, I think he's from Louisiana. I was like, oh my gosh, no. Yeah. So we're going to work, to get Fort Worth on the map.
I think it's really cool. I think it'll expose everybody to kind of a new, maybe even a younger audience, which is, the most important thing if you're doing the music is staying relevant and staying in touch with, folks. So this should help.
And we have a lot of like family-friendly music that's featured on the platform, but we definitely want to. We're aiming for the adult audience here with a lot of our artists, and Amplify 817, because I think a lot of people, their experience is like, yeah, I went to the library as a kid, or I take my kids, and we're totally happy with that. We've got an amazing youth department. I was part of that youth department before this, but we definitely want to show that we have a lot to offer for everybody, all ages, and I think this is sort of our into that.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah. What is one thing that's maybe surprised you about the library? I don't know if you guys are library users yourself, or if you grew up going to the library, but
Well, I definitely grew up in Fort Worth and going to Fort Worth Public Library. So my experience, it kind of shaped everything I love now, like in a really weird way, just through the movie selections from the libraries in the 90s.
Three Stooges.
That kind of like is a good description of me as a person.
I can relate to that. I grew up in the Richland Hills area, and so I went to the Richland Hills Library a lot. But I, every single summer as a kid, was doing the whole reading hours thing and trying to win the prizes that were hanging from the ceiling.
Yeah, we still do that. I know COVID kind of put a stop on it this past year, but we're hoping this year we're going to get back in, and we were planning on some really great stuff, so we're hoping it'll come back. We'll make it through it.
Yes, we'll make it.
Yeah, and we did ours virtual, so we're glad we could still provide something.
That's really cool.
Yeah, there weren't prizes, but you know, we would still have like reading logs for everybody.
Well, and like, you know, 100 years ago there was a pandemic, and they did not have the technology we have. So, silver lining, it's a little, you know.
Yeah, we have found ways to progress and get through that. But as we wrap this up, I just want to give the floor to you guys if there's anything that you want to talk about or mention, and let everybody know who's watching where they can find out more about you, any upcoming shows, albums, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so we definitely have a lot of new music coming out next year that we're collaborating with a lot of artists, and you can find us on Instagram at Yokyo Official, and you can find us on Facebook and Twitter, and we have a website, yokyomusic.com. But I suggest following us and keeping up with what's going on, because we definitely have a bunch of cool stuff coming up.
And if there's any VR designers out there that want to get in touch, you just reach out to planetyokyo@gmail.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for doing this interview for us. We really, really appreciate it. And thank you all for tuning in to Off the Record.
Thank you.
Become stronger than I am now. I wanted to overcome all of the problems in my house. In my house, build me up, put me down, show me up. I can take a hit. I can take a hit. Oh, that's good-ish. That's good-ish, where did you get it? Oh man, that's good-ish, that's good-ish. Can you score some more? Oh, that's good-ish, that's good-ish, where did you get it? Oh man, that's good-ish, that's good-ish. Can you get some more? Oh, that's good-ish, where did you get it? That's good-ish, that's good-ish. Can you score some more? Oh, that's good-ish, where did you get it? Oh man, that's good-ish, can you get some more? Put on my city like a trophy, yeah. 817 in my bloodline, yeah. Got on that list so I could call my dad. Double cup, turn it up. Ricky got me choking in detention. Now I'm smoking all alone on suspension. 88 got my back if you're still in. Double cup, light it up. Oh, that's good-ish, where did you get it? Oh man, that's good-ish, can you score some more? Oh, that's good-ish, where did you get it? Oh man, that's good-ish, can you get some more? That's good-ish, where did you get it? Oh man, that's good-ish, can you score some more? Oh, that's good-ish, that's good-ish. Where did you get it? Oh man, that's good-ish. That's good-ish. Can you get some more? Feeling moody, feeling fresh, always moving, never stressed, cleaning up to make a mess, learn the lesson, pass the test, feeling fierce, got no direction, I'm not here for your affection, got a grip on your attention, place your bets, I'm making honey, hustle till my tongue can taste that money, I'm making honey, working 9 to 5 to get that honey, honey. Caught in a limbo in between, always working, never sleep. Dip my words in kerosene, been on the rocks since 17. Dopamine, digital screens, I finally hit the slot machine. Manifest the limousine, soon enough I'll be a queen. I'm making honey, hustle till my tongue can taste that money. I'm making honey, working 9 to 5 to get that money, money, money. It's the reading of a lifeline, it's the calling of a lifetime, it's the hammer to the chisel till my bones run. I wanna taste the sweetness of a day without pain. I want the loving of an ocean, wanna swim in French champagne. Give me blood or give me reason, I'm feeling good to fly. Leave the nest, I light the for the high. I'm making honey, hustle till my tongue can taste that money. I'm making honey, working 9 to 5 to get that honey, honey, honey. Time feels continuous, go, go, go full speed, no, no, no stopping. Life's inconspicuous, go, go, go full speed, no, no, no stopping. Time feels continuous, go, go, go full speed, no, no, no. I'm making honey, hustle till my tongue can taste that money. I'm making honey, working 9 to 5 to get that